So today we're going to be taking a look at the SimPure reverse osmosis water filter system. And before I get into the entire system, I just want to show you what this does. I'm going to do that using a TDS checker. Now a TDS is the total dissolved solids. So this is going to be what comes right out of the tap. A total dissolved solid is going to be the vitamins, the minerals, and herbicides, pesticides, good stuff and bad stuff that come through the soil and get into our water system. So what they recommend by the EPA is that any TDS over 500 is at dangerous levels. If we want to be drinking water, our total dissolved solids should be somewhere around 20 or below, somewhere in that area. Up to 100 is safe, but we want to keep that pretty low. Now what a reverse osmosis system does is that it removes the TDS almost down to a zero. Now the minerals that are in it is like salt, magnesium, calcium, choline, stuff that's really good for you. But in the TDS there's also the herbicides, pesticides, and the dangerous stuff that comes from farming the ground, and that just gets into our water system. So what I want to show you here is the system itself. Now the system itself does have a holding tank, and it also does have an internal tank. So the internal tank is about a half a gallon. The external tank where we can fill this up is just a little over a gallon. And so what I want to do is I want to show you test the water that's in the tank. This has been sitting since yesterday. I want to test the water that comes out of the tap, and then I also want to test the water that comes out of the tap of the filter. So this is going to be filtered water. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you the water that's been sitting here for just a couple of days. Again, I've got a TDS checker right here, and all I'm going to do is stick it in, and you can see, look at that, 502 parts per million. And you can see that the screen is red, which means that it is at actually dangerous levels. So that's been sitting there, and the longer it sits, it seems as though the higher the TDS gets. So what we're going to do is just take that water that's in the tank. It has already been filtered, reverse osmosis, and we're going to pull water from the internal tank, and just going to grab about 6 ounces here and show you what that looks like. So I'm just going to reset my TDS. Now again, this is pulling water that's at 500 plus TDS through the filter system. And now look at what we've got. 27, 26, 24. You can see it's got a green backlight to it, so I'm pretty happy about that. Now I'm just going to grab some water out of the tap. Now, right out of the tap, we're going to reset our TDS. You can see we are at dangerous levels again, right out of the tap. Now, again, the EPA suggests that those TDS levels be down, but that's not always the case. I'm actually getting rural water, so the water may be just a little bit higher on the TDS side. We are also in planting season and spraying season, so there's a lot of herbicides and pesticides that are soaking into the soil, going through the water filtration system at the water plant, and then they're doing the best that they can, but what's coming to me is still at dangerous levels, and it's just not good for you. Now this is not where we're going to keep it. We just have it here just because of the lighting and the height. You notice it does not go underneath my cupboard, so we're going to move this. So I just wanted to show you that what you get here is a 5-foot power cable, and so you're going to be able to put this in various locations in your house. The first thing that you're going to do when you get this is fill up your water tank. And then after you fill up your water tank, it's going to run for about 10 minutes. And what that is doing is drawing water out of the tank into the internal tank, and it is filtering it. You can hear it drawing water from the external tank to the internal tank, and it will do that for just under 10 minutes, however long it takes for the system to fill up that internal tank to about a half a gallon. You can see that it is filtering right now, and that is both the reverse osmosis filter and the composite filter, and there's also a UV filter on there as well. And this is what the filters look like on the back side. You got two of them right here. You got a CF and an RO, and then you got a water tank that can pull out, and you can fill this up at the sink, or you can fill it from the top, whatever you want to do. When it comes time to change your filters, these are just going to pull out just a little bit, just like this, and they're going to turn a quarter turn to drop out, and then you can replace them. So you got your reverse osmosis membrane, and then you've also got your composite filter, and both of those are going to change out the same way. You're going to get about 500 gallons out of each one of those filters. Now, once we get this set back into place, the internal tank is already full. Again, it holds just under a half gallon. So once it goes below the half gallon, it's going to refill it again. So for the first time, you fill up your tank, and then you're going to push the flush. And what that flushing is doing is pulling out all of the dust, the carbon, the whatever is in the filters for the first use. And so you do want to flush out the water, and you're just going to push that, and it's going to flush the internal tank. And so the first time you use this, you want to run this through a few times. So I went through 2 tanks before I started drinking the water, just because I wanted it to be a pure water. And so this is what we're going to do. And then after, you can stop that at any time if you want to. Then it's going to draw water from the external tank, draw it into the internal tank, and it's going to keep that internal tank always full and ready to go. After you change the filters, you're going to push the reset button. This does keep track of how many gallons has been used, and then it will flash and let you know when it's time to change those filters. If you do not have a reverse osmosis filter, you definitely need one in your home. And this one from SimPure is super simple, easy to use. Everything is touchscreen. It does have a full readout of everything that's going on, from flushing to filtering. You get 3 choices of sizes from 6, 12, 15 ounces, reset. This is a foolproof water filtration system. It's going to keep you healthy, it's going to keep you strong, and it's going to keep all of the TDS out of your drinking water. Crisp, clean, pure water for your body.